And make sure you get a cookie before you leave.
Okay.
Cookies over there.
My name is Ted Voigt, and I was a coach here for many, many years. And when I retired, I got involved with the Wall of Fame committee. And I must say it's really been fun for me. Athletes have to be out for at least 10 years. Sharon Thompson was out 40 plus, and she's finally going in. But what I enjoy about it is the fact that I'm able to touch base with former athletes, most of whom I taught in class or coached, or certainly knew of them if they were in a different sport. And to catch up with them and see what they're doing now and talk old stories, I really enjoy it. The rest of our committee consists of Ed Schaub, who was at Center Court handing out plaques. Tony Borden's here somewhere. With that. And Gary Olson I saw here somewhere. We also have Gordy Hartzine and Don Sharper. Emily Wiesner is our athletic director, and she just had a baby, so she's home on maternity. That's our group. Good group. To join the Wall of Fame, I think of a line from Top Gun the movie. When a person in Top Gun the movie gets selected for fighter training school, which they call Top Gun, to get there, you've got to be the best of the best. And these people are the best of the best. And we have 3 people joining the best of the best tonight. I'm going to introduce Sean Umlin, our former golf coach, and he's going to introduce David Walters.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
I would like to first congratulate Sharon, Jeff, David for being honored tonight, and for the Fitzpatricks recently. It is indeed an honor, and well done. Before I introduce David, I'd like to say a few words about Jeff, AKA Zook, Zookarama, Zookaraya, Zookarama Ding Dong, anything you wanted to call him. He was one of my first friends when I moved up here in 1987. And I do know that he contributed so much to Lakeland Union High School and for the kids, no matter if it was education or athletics. And as you know, he was a man of 1,000,000 stories and 1,000 jokes. And most of those times, those jokes are pretty dang good. Some of you knew Jeff used to play some basketball. And we played a lot of basketball together. And if you saw Jeff shoot, he was pretty accurate, but he had the flattest jump shot you ever saw. There just wasn't an arc, and it was just surprising that they went in, but they did go in frequently. We used to play at the Camp McNaughton on Sunday mornings. Now, he could get away with that kind of shot here, but sometimes we saw some boys from Division I schools. I'll never forget that 7-footer from Marquette. Didn't get away with that day, but they had a lot of fun with Jeff playing basketball. And another thing he loves to fish. And in our younger days, Zook would say, "Ooh, let's go fishing, I got this great spot." Not realizing that it was his John boat. And sometimes we would take it a mile in the woods to get to this secluded lake. Fortunately, we were young and healthy at that time. We could do those things. But the one thing, along with his flat jump shot, that guy could throw a lure. It was just amazing. He could just, a flat lure, and he could get those real tight spots. And he always seemed to hit the big bass. And I know you felt sorry for me because you caught 90% of the fish.
Always.
But that was okay because he cleaned them. All right, and I ate them. So it was good. So thank you. I know that we were been friends a long time, and he was very supportive of me when I first got here. Now on to David. As a decade plus teacher here at Lakeland, and serving as a deck advisor, I've had the luxury of educating a lot of great students. And 13 of those years, I served as a varsity head golf coach. Now, it would have been longer if I didn't fall off a ladder and done some serious sciatic nerve damage, but I had to step down. You know, and that was painful, but what wasn't painful is coaching the fine athletes and students here at Lakeland High School. As you saw, David earned 13 letters, and that's kind of unheard of today. But back in those days, we had an opportunity for someone to take part in summer baseball. So I was honored to have him not only in spring golf, but then he did another love of his playing baseball. As you know, he used to hold the most wins here as a wrestler. And David, your senior year conference, do you remember where that was?
No idea.
It was at Medford High School.
Yeah, okay. That could be.
And I went to watch my, students and athletes wrestle, and he was able to pull off a 4-time all-conference championship honor. That means as a freshman, he was all-conference champion all the way through his senior year. And back in those days, the Lumberjack had a very tough conference, and that was truly, truly an unbelievable feat for any athlete to do. And as you heard at halftime of the girls, going between the girls and the guys game, all conference, wrestling, baseball, golf, he ran his heart out for Ted to get ready for, probably wrestling and baseball. Golf, not too much of a, you had to be an athlete. Even though I do remember Doug Frick one time. He said to me, we played 18 holes at Northwoods down in Rhinelander. And Doug Frick was a person, if he could play every minute of the game, he would, and he would just run. And I said, Doug, how are you doing? He goes, Coach, I could play the entire basketball game, but there'd be no way I could do that today. I'm so tired. And that was just 18 holes of and one. So sometimes you had to be mentally and physically prepared. To talk a little bit about David as a person, I had the luxury of not only having your sister, Karen, who was an outstanding student and DECA member, but David mirrored that. He too participated in competitions, leadership opportunities, and community service that we were so proud of doing. With that comes a special type of person to accomplish what you've done. And you would think with such accolades that he's had, he might have some type of superiority issue. I'm better, and that was not David. He was very humble. He was a good leader, and he really cared about his fellow classmates. When did you get your tattoo? Was that your sophomore year, right after you turned 16?
And I went with my dad.
Yeah.
Did not get it out my hand. We thought it would look good as a singlet.
Well, you know, you're a braver man than I. You know, I don't have any markings other than scars. Okay? But I'll never forget the one day we were getting on a school van to play me. And David takes off his shirt, put on his golf shirt. And I just happened to notice on the back of David is this huge panther. You didn't know that he had a big, huge panther on his back, and he recently got it. And I remember seeing it so red, and oh my God, you know, the first thing I thought was, did it hurt? You know, because I'm not brave enough. But once I got past that, it told me a little bit more about you as a person. When you think of a panther, you think of somebody who has grace, strength, courage, a person who's willing to accept those challenges. And overall, it's just kind of a smooth individual. And you saw that when he walked down the hallway, like when he was in high school, when he played his sports. And that's why he had such great athletic and academic success here. So David currently resides in the state of Oregon. He's here with his mother, Lorraine. Thank you so much for coming. And producing such great children. I really enjoyed them in my classroom. And his wife and son were unable to join us tonight. But what an honor it is for me, David, to have been part of your educational career, not only as a coach, but as a teacher. And it's my esteemed privilege to introduce Mr. David Walters.
That was really great. A bit much, probably. This is a little surreal. It's been 25 years since I've been back here, and I've seen a lot of faces that I haven't seen in 25 years. We all look the same, right? Hardly aged at all. It's amazing. Time stood still. This is going to be very brief. I'm not one for speeches, so I just want to thank my coaches and call them out for golf, Sean Umlin. Wrestling was Kurt Wires and Rick Ernst. And baseball, Ed Schaub, Brandenburg, Coila. I'm sure there's many more along the way. My dad, yeah, of course, my parents were there every step of the way from, you know, every night, every weekend. So just thank you. This is a great honor. I'm very appreciative. Thank you.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
It always amazes me how humble almost everyone is that's up here about, really? Me? To go up there. That's part of one of the things that made them great. You know, they weren't all hung up on themselves. I was going to do Zucker next, but Zucker we're going to save you for the end, and you'll see why in just a moment.
Oh boy.
Sharon Thompson got a message to me that she had to leave, and she wasn't going to be able to stay for this event. So what we're going to do is, my wife Gretchen, who has been a blessing to me as a coach, and she has served in so many different roles, is going to be Sharon Thompson. And stay there for now.
Yeah, she's a shot putter.
Sharon's sister, Juanita, was going to be the presenter for Sharon, but they're off together. At any rate, Sharon Thompson had to wait 40-some years before being inducted into the Wall of Fame. And part of that is because our committee didn't realize what she did after high school. She got involved with the Badger games. Well, a lot of people do that. And she did very well. She got some gold medals in the shot and in the disc. But that's not extraordinary. That's not going to get you on the Wall of Fame. But then a few years later, she went to a similar type event at the national level. And I think she was 33 years old at this point. And she comes back with gold medals in the shot and disc. Now that's a little more impressive at the national level. Then she goes to the Indigenous Games. So this is a similar set of different athletic events for Native Americans from Canada and the United States. And she wins the gold medal in both the shot and discus. And now she's, I'm not sure if she's upper 30s or low 40s at this point in time. But she just kept, her love of the sport and her ability caused her to stay with the sport and to do very well at those levels. Sometimes there's a young man up here. Jeremy Miller, who was a good high school wrestler, won some conference titles, went to state, a decent football player. He goes to UW La Crosse. He wins a national championship in wrestling at UW La Crosse. Now that's something that not every kid does. And there's a few other stories like that up here on the wall. So what Sharon did in high school, multi-sports, 3 letters in volleyball, 3 letters in basketball, all conference honors in both, conference championships in high school in track and field and the shot and disc, was all very good and puts her in the ballpark for this. But what she did out of high school, kind of on the sly, at least from my point of view, I didn't know about it, put her over. So, Sharon, if you'd like to come up, please.
We still got the same name.
No.
Yeah, I know.
Gretchen, Sharon, is my wife Gretchen, is going to unveil Sharon's. Join this one?
Yes. No, the little one.
Oh, good, wrong string.
Yes.
Good thought.
I got it.
Thank you. Yes. Oh, sure.
Yeah, let's see it. Good talk.
There she is. It's amazing that her high school records, she broke the high school record as a freshman in her first meet. And now she's held it, I believe, for 41 years since her senior year. Her record that's up, this is the track, all-time track and field records. And that's a long time. Nobody's touched it. Zucker.
Yeah.
First, I want to read something that Don Sharbar. Last I heard, Sharby was in Nashville. Don Sharbar was our football coach for 20-some years and athletic director for 16 or something. He retired early in his late 50s and he's in his go-go years, and they're giving it. They're doing it.
That's why we call him Squirrel.
Yeah. But he sent me, he says, he wanted me to read this note to you, because he couldn't be here. He says, Zucker, sorry I couldn't be here on your big night, but I just want to say that you exemplify what a friend of athletics means to a T. Most of these people are athletes, but there are a few people that have done such a great job of being helpers of our athletic program. They went above and beyond the Call of Duty for many, many, many years. And so we have a group called Friends of Athletics. And that's where Zucker fits in, because he was not an athlete here. That's my text ringing away. Anyway, in my roles as AD, now this is Don Sharbar talking, and head coach at football, if we needed something from the maintenance department, you always made it happen. On time, even if you had to stay longer. At times, if I was short a coach, you stepped in and coached for a season. He did that for several seasons. 6 maybe, football.
Yeah, with Bruce. I was with Bruce for 4 years, 2 years with Young Bauer, or 1 year with Young Bauer, and 1 year with Coach Jim Bauer.
It's nice.
And then I filmed for 15 years. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And drove. And
As
bandaged.
you heard, between games, coach tennis, coach baseball, whatever we needed, Zucker was more than happy to fill in and did it with enthusiasm. Enthusiasm's a wonderful thing. The thing that, one of the things he did was he lined the fields, not just on football. You've got baseball, you've got softball, I'm guessing the shot and disc.
Soccer.
Absolutely. And the thing is, he did it with great pride. And I think he enjoyed doing it. So he didn't want anybody else on his fields, because he's going to have it perfect. And it always was. And with a smile. Now, people probably don't know, when I was cross-country coach, what would I need a custodian to help me with? We'd go running trails in the woods, whatever, you know? Well, we would open our season with a multi-team meet, and we'd have it out at Clear Lake on Highway J, and it was still warm enough. When the runners got done, they'd go jump in the lake. And we would cook out. Each team had to bring burgers and buns, or brats and buns, or some kinds of chips, some kinds of fruit juice to drink, whatever. And we'd have a little party, 4, 5, 6 teams. Well, I had this brainstorm, we'll set up some volleyball standards. So we had these poles in a tire full of concrete. And we had to take 2 of those out to Clear Lake so we could set up our volleyball. We had 2 courts, and a tree was the third pole. And so I'd go and help them. A lot of help. And we'd get this thing, you could roll it next to the pickup truck. And you got this big thing full of cement. And Zucker just,
Thanks for the help, by the way.
And we did that for a number of years. But what people don't know is this. Sometimes you'll see Zucker and myself together, and I see he gets this look in his eye. And I immediately go like this. What I'm doing is I'm lowering my center of gravity. Because he's always up to something. And this one time we are in the old boys' locker room, right next to our old gym. And that locker room was long and narrow. Maybe it was 12 feet wide. But then you got lockers on one side. So maybe there was 10 feet of space. I'm 6'10", almost 7 feet. He comes up, picks me up, puts me on his shoulders, and gives me an airplane spin. Now, I'm concerned on several levels. I'm concerned my head or feet are going to hit the wall or the lockers. I'm concerned when you're spinning kind of fast, it'd be easy for your feet to get tangled up and we're going to go down. That never happened. And you probably did that to me more than once. And I could have fought him off. I just thought, lowering my center of gravity would be easy.
You still don't trust me.
One more story to tell. Zucker started here in the late 70s.
79.
18 years old. And how old were you when you retired?
55.
So you had been here
37.
37 years, something like that? Incredible. Doing a great job. Always with a smile on his face. Fun to be around. And maybe halfway through that time, or maybe not quite halfway, Lakeland High School hired a new secretary for our front office. And she happened to be single and pretty attractive young lady. And Zucker at this point in time was single. Zucker was married, had a daughter, but they got divorced, not his daughter, but his first wife. And Zucker, what do you think about the new secretary? Yeah. So he ended up asking her out, and she's here tonight. And Laura, we'd like you to stand up.
That's why I have the beard, so you can't see me blush.
I know that behind every coach that's coached for a period of time, there is a very understanding, I'll say, partner that gives them moral support and advice and all sorts of things of that kind. And Lori, I'm sure, has done that for Zucker many, many times. So Zucker, I'd like you to come up and just say a few words about your...
Oh, boy. You got a challenge going there, buddy.
Well, use discretion.
By the way, my podcast.
Airplane.
Is on wheels. Is it? Oh, yeah. Too far back. Vacation. Bruce Hinkins, vacation. Who else did I have vacation with in here? We went on vacations together. Don Sharbarth. I mean, all kinds of people. Is that the Hoffers right there? I apologize for flooring your boy Craig during football one time. I came out of nowhere and I was playing defense on the scab team. And I went like this, that's it. And he flew through the air. And Bruce Hinkins looked at me and he's like, Zucker, what are you doing? And Craig is like, where did you come from? And honest to God, he flew 8 feet. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But you have no idea how many friends I have made working here. And Not only just here, Phillips, Park Falls, Ashland, at the conference, everywhere. Al Woldridge was the AD. Zucker, what are you doing tonight? I got to go up to Ashland and give the conference trophy to the Ashland girls basketball team. I said, I'm not doing anything. Well, come on, I'll buy you dinner. Well, I'm in. I'm going. I vacationed with the Phillips crew when Don was coaching over at Phillips, and he came here. He said, Zucker, you ever been to Canada before? And I said, nope. He said, well, you're going this year. We're going with the Phillips crew. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But I have a couple notes. Coach, I scribbled out these notes, and I set my phone on the table. I'm a little over right now, but
You're good.
thank you. You already introduced the panel. I want to thank them for nominating me and putting me up on the Wall of Fame. Thank my wife, my family's here, my sister, brother-in-law, my nephew, my good buddy Bruce. We were talking on the phone the other day. I've known him 31 years. I've known Don, he's 33, going on 34. By the way, I am a professional drummer too. This year will be my 48th year. I play music on weekends. I don't know if anybody knew that. Mike Mostel, we fish. We go fishing. He wants to learn more about fishing. All the coaches I've met and worked with. Legend, Bob Coy from Wozinee. I mean, when I was coaching tennis with Ted Dazzler, Don said, well, you know about tennis, don't you, Zook? And I said, sure. He's like, you want to coach JV tennis with Ted? And I said, well, sure, I guess. So I'm doing a tournament, JV tournament over at Timber Ridge, and Coy comes driving up in his little car and his Ranger pickup. He happened to be the ranger for the golf course out there. And he drives up, and I'm standing against the fence watching the tourney go on. Zucker. I turn around, hey Bob, what's up? Jesus Christ, I can't believe Sharp hired you to coach tennis, dude. What the hell else do you do around there? I said, whatever they want me to do, Coy. He goes, that's awesome. But I met NFL players used to coach for us. Carcello. Brett Carcello played for the Bears 1 or 2 years. Bernie Knauer, I guess he was in the Rose Bowl. I mean, all these people that I got to meet and work with. Unbelievable. Well, like I said, I want to thank my family for coming. Thank everybody else that's here for sticking around. Stephanie, when she was going to school here, I remember her. And I would be out back shoveling, and Zucker, I applied for a job here. I don't know if we're going to get it or not. I said, don't worry, you'll get it. Known Dean for a long time, known Rich forever. Rich, were you in school here when I started? 79? Did you graduate? You were gone. 78, you graduated with my brother-in-law. On a side note here, very sad to hear about Mike Gregory. Mike Gregory passed away. He was quite a big, giant athlete here and a great guy. When I first came here, I met a lot of the coaches before I even started working here because I'd work out in the old gym. And up on the wall with marker was Rick Furman, Mike Gregory, and Tim Schmitz, and on the 300-pound club. And that's all that was up there. And I'm like, wow, don't these people lift around here? Why aren't they up here, you know? And that was way back. Let's see, 76, 77, 78. And then I got hired here in 79. And Coach Buckley was great to me. Just treated me great. All the coaches, Bill Teston, all the FIAD teachers just taught me stuff and took me under their wing. And Coach White, I had problems with baseball. And those kids can be something. And I'd go to coach, what do you do about this? Well, Zucker, and he had his problems too. Those kids, they could drive you crazy. And known Shabby for a long time. I think I met you, Ed, before I even worked here because you were around the school here, and I would be playing racquetball in the morning with Greg Harrell and Michelson and Paulie Furman and all these other guys. And Buckley and Prawl, Steve Prawl. I just talked to him last week, and like I said, the numbers are infinite. I don't even know how I can remember half the names, but David, I told him tonight, I said, I don't know how you could stand straight up with that leather jacket you had on. You had so many medals, you must have a sore back, you know. And Sharon Thompson, she showed up at my house one day. And I'm like, what are you doing here in the neighborhood? Oh, we saw the rummage sale sign, so we decided to stop in. We didn't know it was your house. And I said, oh, well, good to see you. And we bump into each other once in a while. But a lot of good friends. And I want to congratulate David and Sharon again. Fitzpatrick's were last week Friday. I was here to see them. That was awesome. And Gordy was speaking on your behalf. Gordy is awesome. She did a great job. And this is quite a deal here. Now I got to show you something. Can you see my hand? No thumb. I'm missing a thumb. You see that damn black stripe up there? That used to go all the way around. I lost my thumb from rubbing the masking tape on there to paint that. And I made that sign too. I can't believe that sign is still up there. The A's are a little off, but don't tell anybody. But I can't believe that sign is still there. That T-bird is fantastic. That is awesome. What else do I have here? I'm on about 3.5 minutes. I think. A little history on me. Grew up in Milwaukee, went to Milwaukee Hamilton High School. There was a custodian here named Jerry Robinson way back in the day. And he was a good friend of my family. And they moved up here a little before we did. And they wanted my parents to move up here so bad. So finally, I graduated in '78. My sister became a sophomore. She went to Lakeland. She graduated with Sharon, 81, right? Yep. And so we moved up here, and Jerry was just a phenomenal guy. Handy, knew how to fix everything, knew how to, Mother Earth News, he knew all that stuff in there and everything. But he said, hey, there's a job opening at high school, you better get over there. So I come over, I put in my resume, Dorothy Roberts takes it, she loses it. I'm like, are you kidding me? My dad says, you better go back. They lost your resume, you gotta go do it over again. So I go back the next day and I do it. And when we were vacationing up here at age 12, we were by Jerry and Nancy's for supper, and Jerry said, I gotta go to the school and make security check. I go, oh, can I come along? 12 years old. We walk up the ramp by the pool up there, and I go, oh, would this be a great place to work? At age 12, 37 years, there you go. Coach Buckley said, I hear you were a good baseball player in high school. I said, yeah, I hit 400. We were All-City 3 years in a row. Get your transcripts sent up here. I'll send them up to my friends in Minnesota. You can play ball up there. I go, give me a couple weeks. And he congratulated me on working, getting a job here. But he goes, yeah, you don't want to be here. You go to school, play baseball. I go, no, I guess that didn't work out. So that's just a little history about how I got up here. Thanks to Jerry for all of that. Then I see Jerry Sislo, and he goes, just remember who got you that job. And I'm like, oh, come on. I coached baseball, 70, 85, 86, 87, loved it. The following year, I believe my boys went to the state tournament. They were in the semifinal game. I was so proud of that. And that was Brandenburg and Greshner, I believe, went to West Bend. I drove down, and I stayed overnight at my sister's apartment and drove up for the game. And wow, what they lost in the semifinal, that was fantastic. I was so proud of those guys. That was a big highlight too. I got a WADA award, and I got a Golden Apple of Education, which they gave me in front of the whole district in the Commons here. And Bruce was there, and Bruce was fake crying. And I told him, Bruce, don't worry, it'll be okay. What was that?
I'm crying for real now.
But this is the third best honor to be up on the wall. I never thought. And when Coach called me, I had just got back from vacation with Bruce. We went on a fly into Canada. And Lori goes, you got a message from Coach Voigt? And I'm like, maybe we're going with Mostalski and Mackey. And Broadvet to lunch again because we do that. And it's so nice to be included. Those guys always included me. Fish fries, Lori and I went for fish fries, did all kinds of stuff. And after ball games, we all would get together and have supper and just fantastic. I don't know how many dinners they ate by Sean's house on Horsehead Lake when he lived there. And I'd take Jenna over and then we'd watch the Eagles flight and just fantastic. Living a good life is what it amounts to. And I said to Lori, are you kidding? 7.5 years I've been retired already. And my mom always used to say, time goes by really fast if you're living a good life. And the physicality of this job was something else. But the friends I made and the people I got to meet in other towns and other school districts, I mean, I could go anywhere. I'd go to Bruce's school at AVW, just walk in, hey, how's it going? Where's Bruce? In the gym, okay. Now, you have to have a pass, and you have to have a chip in your hat, and you gotta bend over, and you gotta make sure that, you gotta make sure that you're in the right place at the right time to get into school. It's horrendous. But the kids, I gotta tell you one story about Bruce. I go there, and I have my camouflage jacket on, and they're doing archery outside. I'll never forget this is hilarious. All clear, ready, draw, release. All these arrows go. Retrieve arrows. That's how he does it. Retrieve arrows. The kids walk. They slow down. They get their arrows. Okay, rack them up. Make sure all the arrows are picked up. Come on over. And I'm standing by the rack with Bruce. And these kids are looking at me like, who's this guy? And then they're all like, Mr. Higgins, who's that man? Who's that? He goes, this is my friend. I'm Jeffrey. He works for Bull Hunter magazine. And these kids are like, could we have your autograph? Would you autograph something for us? And I said, Bruce, why did you torture those kids like that? And he's just a riot. I mean, like I said, I've known him for 31 years and it's just been 4 minutes. Got hired in '79 because I could paint. I painted this building 5 times.
Yes.
It's not an exaggeration. You ought to have in my arms and my back. I did get farmed out one year at Brandy Park. They farmed me out to line a rugby field. And I was like, line a rugby field? They had actual professional rugby tournament going on at Brandy Park. And I didn't know nothing about it. Give me the schematic, I'll figure it out. At homecoming, I would line the football field and I would put a logo on the 50. Every year it was some kind of different logo. Gary Kimasek, if you were here right now, I would kick you right in the toot. Lakeland got new baseball hats. I have one at home. And the L kind of went on kind of an angle, kind of different looking, really cool. So what do? Oh, I'm gonna copy that L. I'm gonna make that L out on the 50. So I make it, and get a little off on the angle instead of like so, it was more like this. And so Chemo's announcing the game, and he goes, hey everybody, I just want to let you know that Jeff Janet's made that logo out on the middle for homecoming. Now I don't know what that is that a greater than or less than sign? You decide. And I was up there when he was saying it, and I about smacked the mic off right now. But like I said, once a coach, always a coach. I heard that from you. I heard that from Forrest Coleman. I heard that from Prawl. You guys all helped me so much. I can't thank everybody enough. You can't imagine where I had to stand to film for 15 years. My ankles, my butt, my knees, my back. Park Falls. I don't know what the pitch was on that doggone press box roof, but there I was for an hour and a half. My ankles, I could barely walk when I got off of that thing. I got one more story for you. My daughter was probably 9 or 10. Now, Coach Borden, is it karaoke or karaoke drills for football? What is it, Bruce? karaoke, right? All those side running drills. My daughter would be on the end of the line for football, running back and forth doing those drills. And I got it cleared. I could pretty much go anywhere or do anything here. Everybody trusted me, which was great. One year, I drove the cheerleaders down to Tomahawk in my pickup truck with the topper on it. Now, could you see doing that now? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Hop in, 2 in the front, 4 in the back, shut the door, let's go to Tomahawk. And Bruce would agree with me, they have the best brats in the conference. I just go to the game and eat brats at Tomahawk. But here's my story. Here's Jenna. I said, I got Jenna this weekend. I was divorced. I got my weekend visit. I said, could I bring my daughter to the game? I'm driving the equipment van, the big white 11 passenger. Take the seats out, then put them back in. Not Monday. When you get back, you put them in. And they weighed a ton. But that was where they put all the equipment in the shoulder pads, all the kids' shoulder pads. And they were on the bus, and away we go. So on the way back home, Jenna gets in, there's a seat behind Bruce and I, we're sitting in the front. Start driving, and Jenna goes, Dad, could you please open up a window? I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick. It stinks in here so bad. It was bad. It was like a corpse. It was terrible. Bruce goes, well, Zook. And if you know Bruce, you know what I'm saying. Well, Zook, you know it does stink in here. But he wouldn't say a word. You know, we'd drive with the air on, but I had to stop and open up the back windows. And if you closed your eyes right now and you saw the biggest, nastiest tornado that you could imagine, that is what is flipping around in my head for my memories right now of this place. It's fantastic. And thank you, Ted, and thank the panel again for giving me this honor. It's fantastic.
Before we do this, I just want to point out, over on the tables there are some bottles of water, some cookies. Grab some, stick around and chit-chat for a while, or take them as you go. There's also some programs with the description of each of the 3 inductees. Okay, big guy.
Is that it?
Yep. Can you handle this?
Come on, give me the band sheet. 1, 2, 3. Amazing! Here it is. It took Don 2 weeks to decide which picture to put up there. My wife and I picked it in what? A minute?
Yeah.
She says, oh, I like that picture the
That's
best.
the best.
I do too. I know it doesn't look like me now, but it should. Thanks, everybody. Fitz, congratulations.
I need our inductees to come up for a picture. And then I'll turn you guys loose. And everyone else can have some refreshments or go home or whatever you need to do. Thank you for coming.
Action, Meryl.